So I'm Sharisse Dalby. I'm a nutritionist. I work with families and kids to help them through their digestive, emotional, and time management issues to help them get healthy and feel good about it. So today we're addressing meal prep. Meal prep can be daunting, exhausting, and many people throw in the towel with it. But by creating this habit, you're making a world of difference for your health. So I want to give you 3 tips. This is part 1. And I want to give you just 3 simple tips on how you can actually simplify this process for yourself so you'll actually get it done. So the first tip I want to give you is to actually give yourself a time limit. So I want you to figure out how much time you're willing to commit, because it is really easy for this to take you 5 or 6 hours in the kitchen, but it's not necessary to spend that amount of time to get the benefits of it, okay? So number 1, give yourself a time limit and set a timer when you actually start your meal prep. Okay, set a timer for that. When the timer beeps, put everything down and just stop. That's okay if you don't get it all done. So your second tip is going to be that you need to make a list of foods that you need to prep and prioritize them in order of importance, okay? This should actually, once you've done your meal planning, this process in itself should only take you about 5 to 10 minutes. This is not a long process like actually figuring out your meal plan. This is simply to be able to say, okay, these are the things I need to make. These are the things I can't miss. So if I run out of time, I need these things done, okay? So number 2 is to make a prep list and put it in order of priority. But then step number 3, and after I go through these 3 steps, I'm actually going to walk you through an example of how I would do that, okay? So step 3 is that you then need to restructure it in a way that actually is logical. So in other words, if something's in the oven, don't sit around and wait for it to be finished because you can't go to step number 4 until step number 3 is done. Find ways to restructure it so you can fit in as much as possible. Does that make sense? Hopefully I'm making sense with that one. That one was a hard one to word. So let me quickly, actually, I'm going to give you my example first. I'm going to walk you through an example, then I'll do a recap for you guys, okay? Because they were pretty quick steps, okay? So, y'all ready? Here's my example for you. So first thing I'm going to do is give myself a time limit. So I'm going to give myself 60 minutes, 1 hour to do as much prep as I can. That's all I really feel like doing. So that's what I'm going to do. Second thing I'm going to do is make my prep list. Okay. So in order of importance, I'm going to say I want to do overnight oats. I want to make a marinade and marinate some meat. I want to cut my veggies, of course. I'm going to make some banana bread and some quinoa up. What else? I've written down some ideas. And I'm also going to cook some ground turkey. Okay. These are all the things that I want to get done in this 1 hour. Does it sound like a lot? Kind of sounds like a lot. So I'm going to restructure this and figure out how I can fit this in as best as possible. So I'm actually going to walk you through now exactly what I would do with those particular items. So banana bread was pretty low on my list, but the first thing I'm going to do is make up my banana bread. It's going to take me about 5 minutes to put all the ingredients together and about 40 minutes in the oven. So that gives me a 40-minute time frame to cook as much as I can. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. Second thing I'm going to do is get my quinoa cooking. It'll take me 2 minutes to stick in the pot and 20 minutes to cook. Okay, so that'll take about half the length of the banana bread time. Third thing I'm going to do is cook up my ground turkey. That's going to take about 10 to 15 minutes and very little involvement. I can just stir it up every now and then, okay? So that'll take just a little less than the quinoa that I put in. So while those 3 things are happening, I'm only about 9 minutes into putting the banana bread in the oven. So after I've got those 3 things cooking, I'm going to take 20 minutes to cut up all of my veggies. So by the time I'm done or partway through cooking my veggies, I'm going to pull the turkey off the stove and the quinoa off the stove. And about that time, I'll finish my veggies as well. Okay, so 20 minutes to do my veggies. Then it only takes about 5 minutes to throw together a bunch of overnight oats. So I'm actually going to take one big container and make a giant container of overnight oats, not these pretty mason jar ones, because I need it for throughout the week. So I'm going to make one big container of overnight oats to last my family at least 2, maybe 3 breakfasts. Okay, very plain, simple overnight oats, nothing special about them. I can top them the morning of. And so that's going to take about 5 minutes. Then I'm going to toss together my marinades for my meat and quickly throw my meat in a container with it and put it in the fridge. That's about another 5 minutes. So at this point, guys, I have done every single part of my meal prep in 40 minutes and I've given myself 1 hour. So at this point, the banana bread comes out of the oven and I've been 42 minutes since when I started, to be exact. That gives me 18 minutes to clean up all of my dishes, and my 1 hour is done. That's my example for you. And I'm telling you, making the prep list will take you 5 to 10 minutes, and restructuring will take about another 5. Because you know when you look at them, or when you look at the recipes, how long cook time is and how involved it is. So that's going to be your example. Let me do a quick recap. And I always tell people, if you can't get any prep done, at least take 20 minutes, because in 20 minutes, you can chop up a huge container of veggies. It doesn't have to take long, but you got to get the veggies done, right? That's so important. So 3 simple steps. This is just part 1, 3 simple steps of making meal prep really easy for you. And so it doesn't take all day. First thing is, give yourself a time limit. Figure out how much time you not only have, but actually want to spend meal prepping. And don't say 0, because prep is really important for just easing your week. At this point, if you follow my example, I would have had 2 or 3 breakfasts. I would have had a protein cooked to add to salads for a lunch. I would have had some meat marinating for dinner, so I could throw that in whatever night. I would have had all my veggies cooked for the week, which helps with breakfast, lunches, and dinner. And I would have had some banana bread cooked for lunches. And I would have done that easily in 40 minutes, plus the 20 minutes to do the dishes, right? That's 1 hour, and I would have had a good amount of food for my family for the week. Not everything, not even close to everything, but a good amount to at least ease that pressure and help keep me on target and on track as much as possible. So number 1, give yourself a time limit. Set the timer when you prep and stop when the timer goes off, unless you have to do dishes. But I try and fit that into my time. Number 2, you want to make a prep list in order of importance. What could you not miss? Like for me, it's breakfast. I'm totally messed up if I don't have veggies cut up and breakfast made. It just makes my life easier. So that to me always goes to the top of my prep list. And then number 3, reorder and restructure it into a logical sequence so that you can fit as much into that time as possible. So let me tell you, when I did that example for you guys and showed you how I would fit it into 40 minutes, I am not standing around my kitchen, daydreaming, dancing to music, and sipping on wine. I'm going hardcore. Now, I might have a glass of wine and music on. I just don't have time to dance or drink it. So you also have to be willing, if you're going to put yourself on a short time limit, you have to be prepared to work fast and work efficiently. If you're going to say, you know what, I love being in the kitchen, let me give myself 4 hours, then dance and drink your wine. If you're not part of my private Facebook community, hello, you should be joining because it's awesome. So make sure you join, because I'm there answering your questions all the time for free, because I love you guys, because y'all know you're awesome. And I also have a 1-week meal plan for free on my website. Just hit up SharisseDalby.com. It'll pop up right in your face. You know those annoying pop-ups? I have it there for you because I think you want my meal plan, because it's free. I know I hate pop-ups, but you know, it helps people get the free stuff, so I'll give it to you. Bye, guys.